Don't sign that form. Black Maid Nia Carter froze with the pen hovering above the morgue counter. Behind the glass wall, a body lay beneath a white sheet. On the steel tray beside it sat billionaire Adrian Vale's watch, family ring, and the cuff link Nia had polished every morning for the past year. Across from her, Adrian's fiancée, Celeste Monroe, spoke through clenched teeth. Sign it. Nia looked at the identification form again. Name of deceased: Adrian Vale. Relationship of identifying witness: household employee. 2 hours earlier, Celeste had arrived at Vale Manor crying. There was an accident. Adrian's SUV had supposedly gone through a barrier on the mountain road outside Blackridge. The vehicle burned before emergency crews reached it. Celeste claimed police needed someone who saw Adrian every day to identify the remains. Then she chose Nia. Not Adrian's attorney. Not his uncle. The maid. At first, Nia thought Celeste wanted someone easy to control. Now she knew it was worse. The body beneath the sheet was not Adrian Vale. Nia set the pen down. I can't sign this. Celeste's face went still. What? That isn't him. The morgue attendant glanced up. Celeste laughed sharply. You saw his watch. His ring. I saw objects. You clean his bedroom. You know exactly what he owns. Yes. Nia looked through the glass. And I know what's missing. Celeste's eyes narrowed. What? Adrian had a pale surgical scar across the inside of his left hand from an accident when he was 16. The dead man had no scar. Nia had checked twice. The morgue attendant shifted. Ms. Monroe, perhaps we should contact another family representative. No. Celeste answered too fast. For the first time, grief disappeared from her face. What replaced it was fear. Nia, you're going to identify Adrian and then you're going home. Why? Because that is what happened. No. That is what you need written down. Before Celeste could reply, the elevator opened. Footsteps approached. The morgue attendant looked past Nia and went pale. Celeste turned. A man in a torn charcoal suit walked into the identification room. Mud covered one sleeve. A cut marked his forehead. His left hand was wrapped in gauze. Adrian Vale was alive. Nia stopped breathing. Celeste backed into the counter. No. Adrian looked at the form, then at the body. Good. You didn't sign. You were in the car, Celeste whispered. I was supposed to be. Adrian walked to Nia. Did she bring you here alone? Nia nodded. Did anyone scan your ID? Yes. His expression darkened. What time? 11:42. He checked the wall clock. 11:51 p.m. 9 minutes. 9 minutes until what? Adrian looked at Celeste. Until my death becomes legally useful. 6 hours earlier, Nia had noticed the first sign something was wrong. Adrian returned to Vale Manor unexpectedly at 5:30, canceled dinner, and locked himself inside his father's old map room. At 6, he called Nia. Bring me coffee. When she entered, documents covered the table. Property deeds, insurance forms, a trust agreement, and a photograph of Celeste standing beside Adrian's chief financial officer, Malcolm Reeves. Malcolm had vanished 3 weeks earlier. Nia placed the coffee down. Sir, Adrian turned the photograph face down. Did Celeste ask for my passport this morning? Yes. What did you tell her? That I didn't know where it was. Good. He locked the door. Nia, if anyone tells you I'm dead tonight, do not believe them until you check my left hand. She stared at him. What? Remember it. He handed her a brass key stamped with a small letter V. Keep this somewhere Celeste will never search. Why me? Adrian looked at her maid uniform. Because everyone here sees what you wear before they see you. At 7:15, Adrian left through the service garage. At 9, news of the crash reached the mansion. At 10:30, Celeste insisted Nia come to the morgue. Now Adrian stood alive while another man wore his ring. Nia removed the brass key from the inner seam of her apron. Adrian exhaled. You still have it. Celeste stared. What is that open? My father's private vault. Celeste lost color. Adrian saw it. So you do know. I don't know anything. Then, why did you file my death certificate before the body was identified? Nia turned. What? Adrian showed her his phone. A digital filing had been submitted 37 minutes earlier. Status: deceased. Beneficiary control review. Pending. Celeste whispered. That wasn't me. Adrian scrolled. Upon confirmed death, control of the Vale Family Emergency Trust transferred temporarily to his fiancée. The transfer required a medical declaration and identification by a resident member of Adrian's household. Nia understood. That's why you chose me. Celeste backed toward the elevator. Adrian blocked her. The morgue attendant reached for the security phone.
Dead.
Nia checked her cell. No signal. Adrian looked at the ceiling camera. Its recording light had switched off. Someone cut this floor. A metallic sound came from behind the glass. One refrigerated drawer unlocked by itself. Drawer 18 slowly rolled open. Inside was a black evidence bag.
No body.
Adrian moved toward it. Inside were photographs, a burner phone, and a copy of his trust agreement. Nia picked up the first photograph. It showed Malcolm Reeves outside Vale Manor. Beside him was Celeste. Between them stood a black man Nia had not seen since childhood. Her father, David Carter. Nia's hands shook. My father disappeared 14 years ago. Adrian took the photograph. You're sure? Yes. On the back was a date from last month. My father is alive. The burner phone rang. Adrian answered on speaker. A distorted voice said, Midnight is close. Adrian looked at the clock. 11:56. You survived the crash. Unexpected. Celeste closed her eyes. Nia stared at her. You know that voice?
No.
The caller laughed. Ask your fiancée why she needed the maid's ID. Then the body behind the glass shifted as the table tilted. Something fell from beneath the sheet. A second brass key, stamped with the letter C. Nia picked it up. Her surname was engraved on the other side. Carter. 2 keys. 2 families. 1 vault, the caller said. Adrian looked at Nia. What is in my father's vault? I don't know. The voice answered. The reason her father vanished. The line disconnected. At 11:58, every monitor in the morgue turned on. A live feed appeared. Vale Manor. Adrian's father's private vault door was already open. A man stepped into view. Nia recognized him immediately. Her father. Older.
Alive.
David Carter looked directly into the camera. Then he raised a handwritten sign. Adrian, do not come home. Nia turned toward the covered body one last time. The sheet had slipped lower, exposing a tattoo near the dead man's shoulder, the same black falcon symbol stamped on the key Adrian had given her. Adrian saw it too. His expression hardened. That man worked for my father. Celeste whispered. We need to leave. Nia looked at her. You knew him? Celeste said nothing. On the monitor, David suddenly dropped the sign and pointed urgently toward the vault floor. Behind him, someone lifted a gun. And the clock changed to 11:59. The clock changed to 11:59. On the monitor, David Carter raised both hands. The figure behind him moved closer. Nia grabbed Adrian's sleeve. That's my father. David suddenly pointed toward the vault floor again. Adrian leaned toward the screen. A thin black line crossed the marble beneath David's shoes. Pressure wire, Adrian said. Celeste looked toward the elevator. We have to go. Nia turned on her. You keep saying that whenever we get close to the truth. Celeste's face tightened. If midnight hits, this becomes bigger than your father. What happens at midnight? Adrian asked. Celeste said nothing. The clock changed. 12 o'clock. Every monitor went black. Then one sentence appeared. Trust transfer authorized. Nobody in the room spoke afterward. Adrian's phone vibrated. A banking alert showed movement across 3 emergency trust accounts. $48 million.
Pending.
Beneficiary controller. Celeste Monroe. Adrian looked at her. You said you didn't file anything. I didn't. Then why is your name on this? Because someone wanted it there. Nia studied her face. Celeste was afraid. Not caught. Afraid. The morgue doors locked. A new video appeared. It showed Malcolm Reeves, Adrian's missing CFO. He was alive, seated inside a warehouse office. Beside him stood David Carter. No restraints. They were talking. Nia's stomach dropped. My father isn't a hostage. Adrian looked at the footage. Neither is Malcolm. The audio turned on. Malcolm said, if Adrian survives, the transfer fails. David answered, then keep Celeste away from him. Celeste whispered, that's not possible. Adrian looked at her. You know what they're discussing?
No.
The burner phone rang again. Nia answered. This time the voice was not distorted. Sweetheart.
Dad.
I'm sorry. Where are you? Don't come to the manor. You're in the vault. Not anymore. Nia checked the timestamp. The feed was pre-recorded. You knew they were bringing me here. Yes.
Why?
Because your ID is the last verification they need. For what? The Carter Witness Trust. Adrian looked at her. David continued. Your mother and Adrian's father built it after they discovered Vale Meridian was laundering research money through dead employees. Celeste backed away. Nia saw it. You know that name? Celeste whispered. Everyone in my family knows it. Adrian turned. Your family? My mother worked for Vale Meridian. David said. Celeste's mother didn't work for it. She ran the legal side. Celeste went pale. That's a lie. Ask her why your birth certificate was sealed. Nia looked between them. What does that have to do with my father? David answered. Everything. The line cut. A red light appeared above the morgue door. Security override. 3 men entered wearing hospital security uniforms. The lead man looked at Celeste. Ms. Monroe. Adrian stepped forward. Who are you? The man ignored him. Did she sign? Celeste shook her head. The man's expression changed. Then we have a problem. Nia understood. They weren't hospital security. The lead man reached inside his jacket. Adrian slammed a steel tray into his arm. The object fell. Not a gun. A biometric scanner. They need my fingerprint. The second man rushed her. Celeste stepped in front of Nia and shoved him back. Adrian stared. You're protecting her now? Celeste grabbed the scanner. They were never supposed to touch her. Who are they?
Nia asked.
My mother's people. The lead man smiled. Your mother is disappointed. For once, I don't care. The 3 men ran toward the service corridor. Adrian followed one, but the doors locked between them. Nia picked up the biometric scanner. A label on the back read, Carter Witness, Final Authorization. Below it was a 6-digit code. What does that authorize? Celeste looked at the scanner. The trust doesn't transfer money. What is a transfer? Ownership records. Nia frowned. Ownership of what? Celeste looked at Adrian. Vale Meridian. Adrian laughed once. My family already owns it.
No.
Your family owns the public company. She pointed to Nia. Her family owns the patents. That's impossible. Celeste shook her head. Your father and Adrian's father built a private research trust. When the company became corrupt, they hid the original patents under the Carter name. If those patents surface, half the company's valuation collapses. And my mother loses control. Nia looked at the covered body. Who is he? Celeste answered. Simon Vale. Adrian went still. My uncle? He disappeared 15 years ago. He was the first person who tried to expose my mother. Nia pulled the sheet farther back. The black falcon tattoo was clear. Adrian whispered, My father told me Simon betrayed us. He didn't, Celeste said. He tried to warn you. The morgue attendant stepped closer. There's something under the table. An envelope had been taped beneath the steel frame. Adrian opened it. Inside was a photograph. David Carter, Adrian's father, Celeste's mother, Simon Vale, all 4 outside a private laboratory. On the back, 4 founders, 1 survivor. Nia looked up. 1 survivor? Celeste whispered, My mother. Adrian's phone vibrated. A live location appeared. Old Vale Research Center. Then another message. Bring Nia and the scanner. If you want David Carter alive. Nia stared at Celeste. Is your mother there? If she sent that message, yes. Adrian picked up Simon's ring. We go together. Nia shook her head. That's what they expect. She turned to the morgue computer. Can you trace the scanner? The attendant hesitated. It has a hospital network tag. Nia connected it. A map opened. The scanner was not transmitting to the research center. It was transmitting downstairs. Sublevel 2. This building doesn't have a sublevel 2. Celeste whispered. Publicly. A hidden elevator icon appeared. The Black Falcon symbol flashed beside it. Then the morgue floor vibrated. Somewhere below them, a heavy door opened. The burner phone rang. Nia answered. David whispered, "Whatever you do, don't go to the research center." "Where are you?" A pause. "Under your feet." The line died. Nia looked at Adrian, then at Celeste. From beneath the morgue came the unmistakable sound of chains dragging across concrete. And a man screamed Adrian's name. The scream from below came again. "Adrian." Nia stepped toward the hidden elevator icon on the morgue computer. Celeste grabbed her wrist. "If David is really down there, my mother wants you to find him." Nia pulled free. "My father has been missing 14 years. I'm not walking away now." Adrian picked up the biometric scanner. "Then we go prepared." The morgue attendant showed them a service panel behind the refrigeration wall. Inside was a concealed elevator. No floor buttons. Only a Black Falcon symbol. Nia held the scanner against it. The doors opened. Cold air rushed upward. The elevator descended. When the doors opened, a concrete corridor stretched beneath the morgue. Chains scraped somewhere ahead. Nia ran toward the sound.
Dad.
A steel door blocked the corridor. Behind its narrow window sat David Carter.
Alive.
His wrists were chained to a metal table. Beside him lay another man. Adrian stared. "Uncle Simon?" Simon Vale lifted his head weakly. The dead man upstairs was not Simon. Someone had planted another body with Simon's ring and tattoo. Nia looked at David. Who was in the morgue? A courier working for Helena Monroe. Celeste went pale. "My mother." David nodded. She staged Adrian's death to trigger the trust transfer. Simon's identity was used because his records already marked him deceased. Adrian held up the scanner. "How do we open this?" David shook his head. "Don't. You called me down here. I called because Helena changed the plan." "What plan?" "To force your biometric authorization and transfer the Carter patents into her shell company." A voice came through the speakers. "Of course." Celeste froze. "Mother." Helena Monroe appeared on a monitor. Elegant.
Calm. Smiling.
"Celeste, you are never good with complicated instructions." Adrian's jaw tightened. "You tried to declare me dead. I needed you legally absent for 12 minutes. Nia saw the timer beneath Helena's image. Patent transfer. 63%. It already started. David shouted through the glass. "Because your ID was scanned at the morgue." Nia looked at the scanner. "The identification form."
"Yes."
"They activated your witness status before you came downstairs." Celeste stared at her mother. "You used me to bring her there. And you did beautifully." Celeste's face hardened. "I'm done." A door opened behind her. 2 guards stepped out. Adrian moved between them and Nia. One guard grabbed him. Celeste struck the other, knocking the scanner away. Nia caught it. The first guard pushed Adrian against the wall. Nia spotted an emergency lever beside David's door. She pulled it. Every cell unlocked. David stumbled out. Simon followed. Adrian broke free. The guards retreated as alarms screamed. David grabbed Nia's shoulders. "The transfer can still be stopped."
"How?"
"Your mother built a physical override." Nia froze. "My mother?" "She was the 5th founder." Celeste whispered. There were only 4 names in the photograph. Denise Carter refused to be photographed after discovering what Helena was doing. Nia stared. "My mother died when I was 12. David shook his head.
"No."
"She disappeared the same year I did." Nia's knees weakened. "Both of you left me? To keep you outside the trust."
The monitor changed.
An older black woman stood inside a glass laboratory. Nia recognized her. Her mother, Denise Carter.
Alive.
Nia touched the screen. "Mom." Helena's voice returned. "She has been very useful." "Where's she?" "Below you." The transfer reached 78%. David pointed toward a stairwell. The override is in the original laboratory.
They ran.
Celeste followed. Nia stopped her. Why should I trust you? You shouldn't. Then why are you coming? Because my mother just admitted my engagement was a delivery system. Adrian looked at her. For Nia? For her biometric access. The stairwell opened into a circular underground laboratory. At the center stood Denise Carter. No chains. No guards. She stood beside a control console. Nia slowed. Mom. Denise looked at her daughter. I'm sorry. Nia stepped forward. Then stopped. Denise was holding a gun. At Adrian. Celeste whispered. What is she doing? Denise's hand shook. Nia, stay back. Put it down. I can't. Why? Denise looked toward the ceiling camera. Because Helena has your brother. Nia froze. I don't have a brother. Yes, you do. A monitor turned on. A young black man sat inside another room. He had Nia's eyes. The transfer hit 89%. Helena's voice filled the laboratory. 1 Carter opens the trust. 2 Carters can destroy it. Nia stared at the stranger. David whispered. His name is Isaiah. The young man looked into the camera. Nia, whatever Mom tells you, don't stop the transfer. Denise screamed. He's lying. The screen flashed. Final patent owner reveal in 3 o'clock. And everyone turned toward Nia. Then Adrian noticed a second name appearing beneath the countdown, and his face changed before Nia could even read it aloud. The second name beneath the countdown was Helena Monroe. Adrian stared at the screen. She owns the patents too? David shook his head.
No.
She owns the shell company waiting to receive them. Nia looked at Denise. Mom, put the gun down. Denise's hand trembled. I can't risk Isaiah. Isaiah's voice came through the monitor. Yes, you can. Everyone turned. He leaned closer to the camera. Mom, she only needs you scared. Helena's voice cut in. 1 minute, 40 seconds. The transfer reached 93%. Adrian stepped beside Nia. What happens if it finishes? Simon answered. Helena gets legal control of every Carter patent and can erase the original ownership trail. Celeste looked at the scanner. Then stop it. David pointed toward Denise. 2 Carter signatures. Nia understood. Me and Mom. Denise lowered the gun slightly. Helena's voice sharpened. Denise. A red light appeared above Isaiah's room. Denise raised the weapon again. Nia stepped toward her. Look at me.
Nia.
You disappeared to protect me. Don't let her use that fear now. Denise's eyes filled. The countdown hit 60 seconds. Nia held out her hand. Trust me once. Denise dropped the gun. Helena screamed through the speaker. Guards rushed toward the laboratory door. Adrian and Simon shoved a steel card against it. Celeste grabbed the biometric scanner and tossed it to Nia. David opened the override panel. Both hands.
Now.
Nia placed her palm on the first reader. Denise placed hers on the second. Carter line verified. A new message appeared. Final owner confirmation required. The second name Adrian had seen returned. Not Helena. Nia Carter. Nia froze. What? David smiled through tears. Your mother and I placed the patents in your name before we disappeared. The transfer reached 97%. Helena shouted. She was a child. That was the point, Denise said. No one would suspect her. Nia pressed confirm. The system flashed white. Transfer reversed. Then another message appeared. Original files released to federal authorities. Every lock in the laboratory opened. Isaiah's door released. He ran into the room. Nia stared at the brother she had never known, then pulled him into her arms. Federal agents stormed the corridor seconds later. Helena tried to flee through the service tunnel, but Celeste blocked the exit. Her mother stared at her. Move. Celeste shook her head. You used my engagement, my name, and my life. I made you powerful.
No.
You made me useful. Agents arrested Helena. The false death filing, patent theft, Simon's staged identity, and the trust conspiracy collapsed with her. Adrian's death certificate was cancelled before sunrise. David and Denise entered witness protection under their real names. Simon testified. Isaiah was reunited with Nia. Celeste ended the engagement herself and cooperated with investigators, accepting responsibility for helping Helena bring Nia to the morgue. Months later, Vale Meridian restored the Carter patents and created an independent ethics board. Adrian offered Nia a seat. She looked at him. "I came into your house as a maid. And you walked into that morgue as the only person who refused to sign a lie." Nia accepted. The morgue form was later preserved in the investigation file. One blank signature line had stopped everything. Celeste sent the black maid to identify a dead billionaire. Instead, the dead billionaire walked in, the wrong body opened a buried conspiracy, and Nia discovered that the family everyone had erased from the story had owned the truth all along. For Nia, the victory was not the patents or the board seat. It was hearing her parents say her name openly, without fear, after 14 lost years.